I grew up in Massachusetts, and Massachusetts was a textile state. In fact, the town I grew up in had 5 textile mills that produced wool and cotton. And as the labor prices went up, they were called sweatshops because they didn't pay the people a fair wage, and they didn't have any retirement plans. So my father worked in the mills, my mother worked in the mills. So eventually, as the cost of labor and producing that stuff went up, they moved the jobs to North Carolina. So the textile mills all came down, the jobs came down here. They get to a point where the labor goes up, now they're all moved to Korea.
Right.
And so it's been a hopscotch kind of thing. But it's all about the jobs and the labor balance.
It was a scorching summer afternoon in a downtown park of Hickory, a furniture hub in the state that traditionally relied on furniture, textile, and tobacco industries. In North Carolina and other states that have seen big loss of manufacturing jobs in the past decade, Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump has been courting angry and frustrated blue-collar voters with protectionist messages, breaking away from the long-standing Republican orthodoxy in favor of free trade.
And it's not going to happen anymore.
The tough trade rhetoric is especially conspicuous in the 2016 election cycle as a strong dose of economic protectionism that permeated the trade plans of both presidential candidates of the 2 major parties.
Our jobs are fleeing the country. They're going to Mexico. They're going to many other countries. We have to stop our jobs from being stolen from us. We have to stop our companies from leaving the United States and with it firing all of their people.
That means we need new jobs, good jobs with rising incomes. I want us to invest in you. I want us to invest in your future. That means jobs in infrastructure, in advanced manufacturing, in innovation and technology, clean renewable energy, and small business, because most of the new jobs will come from small business.
Bashand believed it is a lackluster domestic economic growth that fueled up the trade rhetoric. Nearly 9 years after the Great Recession plagued the world's largest economy, more than half Americans believed that the economy was getting worse based on Gallup's August Economic Confidence Survey.
I think one of the top issues in this country now is the economics. People are fed up because they're not working. College graduates are not working. We have a lot of people that are taking low-income jobs, but there's a lot of people here that are happy to get government handouts, which has kept those people down as well.
Gail Summerskill is an English professor who now lives in North Carolina, and she is a registered Democrat. She said that manufacturing companies have left North Carolina for cheap labor overseas.
We send product production to countries where labor is cheaper than here. And then we benefit from that because the products come back and we buy them. Probably the people that benefit the most are the CEOs and the people that own these companies.
Among his policies, Trump has proposed slapping a 45% tariff on Chinese imports and a 35% tax on Mexican imports, arguing that by doing so, it will defend U.S. manufacturing and workers and revitalize job growth in America. However, an analysis released in June by Moody's Analytics projected that such large increase in tariffs on Chinese and Mexican imports further exacerbates inflation pressure as it increases overall good imports prices by approximately 15%.
But if you brought the jobs back, for one, we can't possibly afford. We send that so the product is cheaper. So people aren't thinking through, okay, so now how are you going to pay for these products? The whole job world, manufacturing has changed, and we haven't changed our job force. So I think the issue is not that our jobs have been sent overseas, but that we haven't retrained our population.
While many voters understand that companies moving jobs overseas was a natural progression driven by profit, some still believe the government should have done more to mitigate the sudden manufacturing job losses for hundreds of thousands of workers. Bashand believed the problem is taxation.
We pay some of the highest corporate taxes in the world as far as what corporations face here. So at some point they're going to go to another country where they don't have to pay as many taxes and increase their bottom line.
Even for Democratic voters who didn't believe that low-wage manufacturing jobs should be brought back, agreed that the government should do a better job to retrain the unemployment workforce and help them transition into other industries.
Legislature needs to go for education to become cheaper now and for there to be different types of training and for us to take really a close look at how manufacturing and that has really changed, and we're more of a technological society where we have to have different training, even starting in our high schools.